In this video, we're going to do some more examples with rational expressions. We'll start with a subtraction problem. 3x minus 1 over 2x plus 1 minus 3x minus 4 over x minus 3. The first thing we need to do here is get a common denominator. In this case, the common denominator will be the product 2x plus 1 times x minus 3. So we have to multiply each fraction by a special form of 1 so that we end up with that common denominator. So we multiply the first fraction by x minus 3 over x minus 3. We multiply the second fraction by 2x plus 1 over 2x plus 1. Then we can combine the two fractions into one big fraction, where we have the product of 3x minus 1 times x minus 3 minus the product 3x minus 4 times 2x plus 1 in the numerator. And notice what I've done here. I inserted some square brackets around the second product because we're subtracting it. If you don't do this type of thing, chances are you're going to make a sign error when you combine like terms. So this is a great thing to remember. Now we multiply out the products, 3x minus 1 times x minus 3 to get 3x squared minus 9x minus x plus 3. And then inside the square brackets we multiply out to get 6x squared plus 3x minus 8x minus 4. We keep these square brackets until we combine the like terms inside the square brackets. Then we can remove them. And our numerator simplifies to 3x squared minus 10x plus 3 minus the quantity 6x squared minus 5x minus 4. And we can remove those square brackets and we get minus 6x squared plus 5x plus 4 after we remove those square brackets. And now we can combine all the like terms in the numerator. And we get negative 3x squared minus 5x plus 7. Or we could factor the negative 1 out and get negative 1 times the quantity 3x squared plus 5x minus 7. Or we could move that negative 1 outside as just a minus sign and get minus the fraction 3x squared plus 5x minus 7 over our common denominator. And all three of these answers are correct. Now we're going to do an example where we add two rational expressions where we have to factor the denominators first. Here we're adding x plus 1 over x squared minus x to 2 over x squared minus 1. These denominators are not factored. We must first factor them to determine what the common denominator is. The first denominator factors as x times x minus 1, and the second denominator factors as a difference of squares, x plus 1 times x minus 1. Now we have to determine the least common denominator. The least common denominator has to contain all the denominators as factors. And here, the least common denominator has to be x times x minus 1, but then we also need an x plus 1, and this will contain all of the denominators. So now our first fraction needs to be multiplied by x plus 1 over x plus 1, this special form of 1, and we have to multiply our second fraction by x over x. Now both fractions have that least common denominator. And we get x plus 1 times x plus 1 plus 2x all over our common denominator. And now we can just multiply out the x plus 1 times x plus 1 to get x squared plus 2x plus 1, and then add that to the 2x. And then we combine like terms, and then we're done. And our answer is x squared plus 4x plus 1 over our common denominator of x times x minus 1 times x plus 1. In our last example, we're going to simplify a complex fraction. This is a fraction containing fractions that are algebraic expressions. The simplest way to do this problem is to combine all of the numerator fractions into one fraction and then divide the fractions by inverting and multiplying. To do this, we have to have common denominators in the numerator fractions, and that common denominator is x times x minus 1. So we multiply 1 over x times x minus 1 over x minus 1, and we multiply the second fraction by x over x. Now we have common denominators and we can combine those two fractions in the numerator. When we combine, we get 1 times x minus 1 plus 2x minus 1 times x over that common denominator x times x minus 1. Now we just need to multiply out those terms and combine them. And when we multiply out, we get x minus 1 plus 2x squared minus x. So our result is the fraction 2x squared minus 1 over x times x minus 1 over the denominator fraction of x over x minus 1. Now we can invert and multiply. So we invert the fraction x over x minus 1 and we end up multiplying by x minus 1 over x. Now we have to use our principles for fraction multiplication. We have to cancel any common factors and then multiply what is left. The x minus 1 factors cancel out. So we just end up multiplying the first fraction times 1 over x. And this results in 2x squared minus 1 over x squared as our final answer.